Hello, I'm Ekiel. Today we are in the headquarters of Liki Mobile Solutions. Behind me you can see we have Christmas time. In Liki we have Christmas time every day. Today with me is guru of telecommunication services and customer care solutions, Dariusz Korczykowski.
Hi, I'm Dariusz Korczykowski. I have 25 years experience in telco business and I started with customer service, but the last 10 years it's mobile digital solutions like application in T-Mobile and Orange company.
Okay, today's topic is customer care solutions. If you can explain us what is the core activity of customer care in big services companies.
Big companies has a lot of customers, so they have probably a lot of problems, especially in telecoms where the offer is very complex and customers can have some problems with the offers, with the bills, with services, etc. etc. Companies has a lot of calls or emails or questions from customers, and companies try to find solution for that. For example, digital solution like mobile applications.
Very often we talk about traditional companies which have traditional communication channel with customers, the clients, usually in salons, in info lines, and just now also in internet and mobile applications. We say about multi-channel communication. May you explain why it is important for these traditional companies to serve services in all these channels?
Customer like meet people, for example, in salons or in calls, but companies try to cut cost and find the solution and turn these customers' questions into digital channels like application or self-cares on web. So they improved all these options and try to give them as a first choice solutions. Basically, it's a cheaper option than regular customer service with agents, stationary in salons or in call center.
It's cheaper, but I think also useful. If you say about users of mobile phones, I think it is the most natural for them to use the phone and mobile app for manage of mobile services.
Exactly. Now it's useful for probably most people. Everybody has smartphone. The second thing, when we are talking about mobile application, you have customer who can be constantly logged in the application. You have constant contact with him. You can give them information before he try to ask about something. You can prepare personalized offer or personalized information about their bills, their problems, etc. etc.
You explain customers, they like contact with people, but what is the strategy for launch of mobile app? I think it's not only cut off the cost, because the most, of course, in the first step, the most natural use case of mobile app, it is after sales service, maintenance for customers. But what kind of benefits and strategy you have when you plan to launch mobile app for help of customers?
I think when we started with application 10 years ago, it was also the kind of brand information that the brand is modern, that has application, modern companies has application, so it was also this way solution, but I think now it's something mandatory. I think a lot of people like do themselves solve themselves their problems, so they do via digital channels like web or application, and I think application is much better. You have smartphone on your pocket and you can check anything anytime, or company can give you information when they want to give you.
And I think it is also more useful to click in mobile app and check
Exactly.
current course or switch on, switch off some additional value services.
Of course, this is the challenge for the company to build easy process, user-friendly processes. They have to think how to change the offer to be very easy to manage, to be very useful for customers.
It is very useful also during vacation. When we land in some different countries, very often we remember about change of international service offer, and it's very useful to change it in mobile app, not lose time for call centers.
Exactly, and of course during those years the situation was changed also. We started with basic information like data consumption or call consumption or invoice status. During the years we add additional options like online payment, management, additional services, management your personal data, etc., etc. And recently we built solutions to easy prolongate your contract, easy way how to upsell or cross-sell additional products for customers, something what few years ago was available only on shops or on infolines.
I also think about point of view of a company, of telecom. For example, Orange has more as 15 million customers on mobile services. Mm-hmm. And for help of this big group of people, company needs sometimes few thousand workers on infolines. It's very hard work for support of customers in configuration of their phones, in configuration of their services, for answer of questions about bills. It's really hard work and a very big cost for company. What kind of impact has mobile app and also web page in this area?
All this solution try to minimize volume of calls, volume of chats, or volume of emails to company. When we started 20 years ago, 25 years ago, there wasn't any IVRs in the beginning. The next step was basically IVR. After that, another solutions like USSD codes or management via text messages. Now, digital is very, very important, and minimalization of calls is really very, very important, and we do this every day. We have millions of sessions in app, and we cut a lot of probably impossible calls, because when customer has to call and ask basic questions like how many minutes I have or when I have to pay my bill, answer for this question should be available in app just in 1 second.
If we compare services in few areas, because just now we are talking about telecoms, but here it is more complicated as the share of the cars, for example, because the telecoms have mobile services, internet access, broadband services, very often TV services or IPTV. This is a lot of services, options, and how long you spend time on design, plan and launch of this application. Everything, all services was available in the app from the first day of the solution?
No, when we started years ago, there was only the basics, and you can check only the most important information. Also, the model of account of customer was much more basic than now, because customer can have a lot of products, a lot of options, a lot of services. And on the beginning, the solutions mostly get information per one MSA SDN, and you have to change account to check another MSA SDN data. Now, when you log into application, you can see all your products, all your billing accounts, all your services. And of course, when you implement such a solution, you have to prepare projects, you have to check with customer, do some surveys, you have to get feedback from them, and you have to constantly improve the service. You have to check customer opinion on markets. You have to provide additional deep dive surveys, and you have to check what they want, how they use the application. You have to monitor what option they choose, what they do or what they don't do, because maybe they don't understand how to do something. Of course, also there is a place for education, for informing them that you have a new option, or when customers have a problem with doing something, with information, a kind of tips or suggests, oh, you can do this via this option or another. It's a hundred or thousands of hours of studies or
I understand this is a very big job for deliverer of mobile app, for manage of these many number of services, and you spend a lot of years, year by year, step by step, add the new solutions and support for new services. But these services are not the same every year. Everything is changed. The customers receive new features, receive change in the cost of us, and how it is possible to manage of change requests in these applications.
Of course, you have
in real time.
Of course, you have to think about your application like a part of environment in company. So you have to development connected to customer needs or to your vision how this application should be. But on the other hand, when company provides some projects, some new offers, some new options, you have to include those projects, those needs into application also. So you have a few lines of new requests, of a new requirements for development of application. And of course you have to choose which is important now, which you have to do now, or what you can postpone.
Very often in programmers' world, we are talking about continuous integration, continuous delivery, but in this case, in real-time management of business services, we can say about continuous development of business services.
It's a continuous development, and you have to be a few steps ahead and thinking what won't you do in next year or next month. You have to prepare your roadmap. Sometimes you have to change the priorities, but of course this is a big schedule.
It means this work will never end. It is not a project, but more it is process.
Exactly. It's strange, but it's not simple project like we start in January and finish in December, or this is the list of projects when every year you start in January and finish in December, and still you have to think about next implementations, new developments, etc.
Sometimes business owners, business managers ask me about costs. The cost of this process is quite big to build a software development team and work with them without end. Of course, we spend this money. We decide to invest in mobile app because we expect, maybe the costs of mobile app will quite big, but huge cost of after sale service will decrease many times. Sometimes 20%, sometimes more, and we can expect a benefit in this area. Invest some money in mobile app, but cut the cost, huge cost in after sales services. But question of product managers is about impact of launch of new solution, mobile application, and generation of additional calls with questions about these mobile applications, because if customers will install this mobile app on their phone and they will have problems or this application will be not useful, they can generate bigger number of calls on infoline, and this cost of infoline will still increase. And do you have special process for integration of call center workers with this software development team?
I think the most important what you have to remember is way how you implement the options. So when you start with something which is very basic solution, probably the number of customers will be not very huge. So list of problems or list of calls, volume of calls will not be huge. After that, when your product is more mature and you have more and more customers, probably the next version will have only a few percent of new options than the core of application. So the probability that these new options will generate big problem is rather impossible. On the other hand, you have to test application, and the testing and checking everything a few times is very, very important. When you have test teams, when you have people who are prepared, who have tested data for testing, you can prepare application, launch it on the market without probably problems.
Yes, of course. The quality assurance is also key area.
Exactly. And the second thing, the benefits of application, it's not only the cost cutting in customer service, but also the income from upsell or cross-sell made in application in digital way.
It is very interesting because I think just now all telecom operators, they have their own mobile applications, but in Orange you have your own shop in mobile application.
Of course, you have shop, you have personalized offers for each customer, so we give proper offer to proper customer, and the chance that he will buy it or turn on the service is much higher than regular advert on web with information to everybody. We should think about application not only the customer care solution but also the sales solution, so application became something like all company in your smartphone. You can do everything.
Talk about personalization and dedicated offers. It is very interesting. It is not the same offer for all customers. Do you use artificial intelligence solutions behind the application?
Of course, we try to implement new options. AI is a very perspective solution, so we try to do this. Of course, it's probably the beginning of this way, but I'm 100% convinced that AI solutions for not only for suggesting customer what he should buy, but also how to help them solve their problems will the future.
How do you see the customer care and relation between people and company in future?
I think the people don't want to really understand how the offer is, how it works. I think people are lazy. We are lazy, so they need easy offer, easy solutions, easy option to manage these solutions, these offers. I think they will wait for information from company what is important. They will wait for important messages. Companies, I think, will try to predict what problems customer can have or what products they want to buy or they want to sell exactly to particular person. I think this is the way.
I know there are companies and services where all relation between client, customer and company is online with using of web or mobile application like a new mobile service. But in this traditional business like in Orange, I think this is my point of view. It is not possible to resign from a real relation in salons or influence.
I don't know. we will see in future, but I think digitalization is really very important, really important to customers. We have new habits. People like do things themselves on their smartphones. I think if they will have reliable information in application or in web, they want to call and ask and ensure from customer agent this true or not. You have to build a service which customer can trust. So when you do something like that, I think it's possible to move or to push customer from existing way of service or sales into digital.
How many books you have in your home?
More than 1,000.
I know you are a geek of
I like
book
books.
reading.
Really.
What is the last one?
I don't remember exactly because I bought a few and now we have Christmas time and I bought some gifts and also some books for me, but I think it's a book about our history, something like that, new approach to Polish history.
Usually when I buy some books for gifts, they are books that I won't read. And I hope people will give me a chance. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope we'll meet again for discussing about this continuous development of mobile applications and quality assurance.
Thank you very much.